What's going on, folks? What's going on? Welcome back to the Be More Today show. This time with Spartans Sunday Run Club. We're back. We are back. We are back to building, folks. This has been a year from start to finish. 2025 has been wild. But before I talk about any of those things, as you know, Be More Today is a movie we've been here rocking out all year, doing some great things for season 6. Our More Merch store continues to be open. Our Be More Today book and Project More book has been out this year, and it's been fascinating to see so many people out there getting their steps in, being more today, putting in the work, trying to be better people. So I want to say thank you to all of our supporters who've been here since day one. Now in season 6 of the Be More Today show, we've been rocking out. And as you know, Be More Today is everywhere. We're now heard in 97 countries, over 76,000 downloads. Again, thanks to your love and support, the show continues to grow. And our sponsors, Spy Belt, the best running belt in the business. We saw a lot of those belts at the NYC Marathon this year. Kim and her team does a great job of putting on a great product. So we thank her and her team for that. Our sponsor, Jag Physical Therapy, the best PT clinic in the Northeast. Shout out to John and his team, John and our team. And our monthly patrons, you are never unnoticed. Thank you so much for your love and support. It never is unnoticed and always appreciated. For those who don't know, I am running the Boston Marathon this year, and I am happy to represent our run club, Spartan Sunday Run Club, with Stride for Stride. Stride for Stride is a nonprofit running club that buys race bibs for immigrant, BIPOC, and low-income runners. The goal is to make races more accessible and more diverse, because they say there's no reason why money should prevent you from getting to the starting line, especially when crossing the line could change your life. It's a great organization, and we're trying to raise $9,500 for Stride for Stride. And everyone on the Stride for Stride team gets free mental health services. So if you want to be a part of that movement, as I continue to take my steps towards the final star, the final 6-star, you can check the show notes for how you can donate and be the part of the journey for me to run Boston in 2026. Our quote for today is simple as always. Run when you can, walk if you have to, crawl if you must. Just never give up. Folks, this year and every year, I love to highlight the NYC marathon runners. We have a number of people who ran marathons this year from all over the world. I was in Tokyo with my boy Ishmael this year, and some ran other marathons around the world in Berlin and otherwise. But NYC is special. NYC is special. And every year we love to highlight our Spartan Sunday Run Club NYC finishers, because there's something special about the greatest city in the world. And today I have some of our runners who are going to be on the show today, talk about their journey, talk about the experience about running NYC, and each of them ran NYC for the first time this year. So all new perspectives about the greatest city in the world and the greatest race in the world. Now this year, totaling the highest number of people who finished a marathon in the world. NYC has the record again, and we're happy to have that record in NYC. So as I bring in our first guest, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, pets included, please welcome to the stage our first guest on Be More Today's show. He is a co-worker of mine, a fellow physical therapist. He works at my office. He's been doing a lot of work with us in our we do morning workouts in Brooklyn. And he's been kind of hopping in there and doing workouts with us. And he's been helping other runners to be better, including himself. And he is now a part of the 1% Club. Welcome to the stage, my boy, Gaurav. Gaurav, where are you? What is going on? The crowd is going wild. How are you feeling today? Welcome to the Be More Today show.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Ish. This is awesome. I'm really excited to be on this show. I started listening to this a few years ago, and when I got hired with the company, and I got to know that you are running the show. So it's more than exciting to get to be here on this show. Uh, I think it's overall everyone has helped with this journey. I can't thank enough. It's Sean, Ish, the whole Run Club, my patients, my athletes who were on the sidelines, kind of cheering through the journey. So it's been awesome so far.
Amazing. Listen, we're happy to have you. And on behalf of Ish and me, and you'll hear from Ish at the end of the show. He's behind the scenes now, as always, holding down the fort. But listen, you when we talked to you initially about being a part of this, your
Mhm.
first answer was no. And I remember you being like, I got too many things going on. I'm a little too busy. Maybe next year. And then I don't know what happened, Gaurav, but at some point in time, you came to me and you were like, I changed my answer. I want to be a part of this. What happened from the time you said no to the time you said, yes, I want to be a part of this journey?
I remember that day. I was so when you first offered me, first I was really excited. I was like, but I held my breath. I was like, I have my work going on, I have the residency going on, I have all the assignments, all the lectures. The first thing that came to me was, okay, well, should I be doing this right now or shall I wait? And I gave it a thought. I went downstairs. I was like, I need to calm down first and see if I can really do it. And when I was talking to myself, I was like, you don't have to give reasons to do this. You
Mm,
have one reason. Uh, it's my passion. I've been a runner for a while. I kind of got lost when I was not running over the years, but this one chance, especially NYC Marathon, is like the biggest sporting event in the world. So I'm like, if I'm getting this chance, I don't want to miss this. And then I'm like, I'll do anything and everything to get back there, run, and even if, as you said earlier, if I have to walk, I have to crawl. I think I believe that I would be able to do it. So
mm,
I'm like, I will train for it. I don't know if I can. I'll wake up at 3 a.m. I'll prepare my lunch. I'll prepare my schedule. I'll make sure running is my priority. And the greatest support was everyone. So yeah, I think that's what gave me ray of hope. Like, okay, I can do this. And
love it.
that's helped me.
Love it. Very inspiring. Very inspiring. Listen, many people have run the marathon and you get lots of feels, right? Lots of feels, lots of emotions. If you could
True.
sum up the NYC marathon experience in one word, what would that one word be?
I would say believe.
Mm.
Believe is something that I had to begin with. When I signed up for the marathon, I came home and I told my wife, and she was like, or do you have time? you know so first thing was, I believed in myself that, okay, I think I'll be able to do it, and I have enough support to get through this. And yeah, I feel, and I was able to a- achieve it. So my three biggest thing was dream, believe, and achieve at
Mm.
the end.
Love it. Love it. And now you, sir, are officially a part of the 1% of the population around the world who has finished a marathon. Not just NYC, but a marathon, period. It is not something
Mhm.
that people do. It's a wild feat to even have on your resume. But you are now in this elite club of people who have done this. And you've been a part of our run club. So, thinking about Spartan Sunday Run Club, how has the run club helped you during this journey to be part of this club?
I feel like when I joined the company, that's when when I first got to Georgetown, uh, I felt like I saw you running these free workouts. So the Monday and Wednesday morning workouts, and it's free. And you just show up. And I saw that I thought that it would be easy. I just showed up. I'm like, okay, I can do this. And 2 days later, I was so sore.
Right.
So it kind of changed my perspective, and I saw all the people in there of all ages. So I remember I was the youngest one, and I was struggling to keep up with them.
Mm,
There are members who are in their 60s, 70s who are just going, and I feel like that kind of creates a lot of motivation, and
yeah,
you kind of look back that, okay, if they can do it, I can do it too.
yeah, yeah.
So it's a big inspiration. And once we started working, I started referring my patients to come to the workouts, and they feel so inspired now. And when we come, and it's apart from running, I feel like this workouts are really important because they will give you a platform, and you have a set schedule every week, Monday, Wednesday, and I make sure that I'm early to bed on Sunday. I'm early to bed on Tuesday. I want to make sure that I show up. I don't want to give reasons to myself. And the environment is really inspiring. And I thank you for that. It's a big commitment, and I love it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you, it is a big commitment. We've been doing it now for the last almost 4 years. And it started off with me and a coworker, Stan, actually, Stan. But
Yes.
that grew to me, Stan, and a patient who's Cyril Paris. And for the last literally 3 or 4 years, we've been just rocking out. And those two people became three, three became five, five became 20. And now, as you know, people are outside of the job waiting for me to show up at 5:45, that's right and all, waiting to
Right.
get this free workout. And not only if for me is it marketing and it's also community, but it's also a way for us to really show people how to get back to life that they really love, right? We do all these things with therapy and try to get people to go back to functional movements and whatever else. When they leave us, they come back because, as you know, sometimes people just fall off the wagon. They don't have that structure anymore. So I figure let's just give them some kind of a structure in a space that they already feel comfortable in and they've been in for a long time to be able to keep doing what they should be doing. And then at some point in time, they can find other ways to keep that going. But yeah, why not give them the tools to not just get past us, but to really get back like they love in other ways. So that's why I do it. And I know others do similar things around the world, but that's my little way of giving back with our Spartans Sunday Run Club. So it's been great. And you've kind of seen the process of working out, and you know how important it is as a PT, but also as a
Mhm.
runner. Can you just share with the listeners how important it was for you to not just run, but to also work on working out and maintaining your body during your training cycles?
I feel like that's a really good point. Working out other than running is really important because you want to train the whole body. When I was doing my marathon, I felt like, just when you're running, you're holding your arms up. And when I started running, I was like, okay, I don't have to work out on my arms. But no, you have to. It's a whole body workout. It's your core, it's your arms, believe it or not, it's your neck too. So I feel like throughout the training sessions or throughout the training months, I've seen that nutrition, hydration, and your workout routine is going to be really important. If you're running on Sunday and if you're doing your long runs on Sunday, if you're doing your short runs on Wednesday, you want to make sure that you're not working out really heavy the day earlier. So you got to plan it out. And those things are really important. You want to do your weight training, you want to put your cardio in, and that definitely helps out a lot mentally. And you don't want to skip those because if you're aiming for a certain time, you want to make sure that you're putting in the efforts going through the months and just not don't show up on the marathon day. So those
Exactly.
training cycles are really important. And I feel like with Sean and Ish, you guys have been guiding us, which has helped a lot because since we were running the marathon for the first time, we had jitters. We're like, oh, should I be doing this? Should I be doing that? But throughout the training months, we were so lucky to have the guidance, and I appreciate that.
No problem. We appreciate doing the service for the community, and it's something that Ish and I have been doing for a long time. We'll talk about it more at the end, but yeah, we appreciate that. Corey, listen, one of the things that I connect with you on is being a physical therapist, and as you know, that the mindset of the marathon is one that is, like you said, run, walk, crawl, whatever, right? All those different things. And as PTs, we see a number of patients who come in and sometimes they are just so worn down from pain or so they're just so worn down from not finding a way back to their functional goals that they lose hope. What have
Mhm.
you learned from the marathon that you can share with your patients? Or what has enhanced your experience in terms of mindset as a therapist that you can help your patients now moving forward?
I feel like so I understand when I was running through 10 miles when I was getting to 15 as we were starting to put more miles on your body will start to hurt, and I have experienced that firsthand. I did not have that pain before, and I'm like, okay, I always throughout the training cycles I've been focusing on my knee, my ankle on the right side, but this time mile 15 and my left knee started giving out,
Yeah,
my left ankle started giving out. So
yeah,
and I could think of those patients who are like, oh, I'm in pain, I don't think I can do this. But
right.
throughout the marathon journey, uh it was the people around who were kind of cheering you on that
Mm,
keeps us going. You
yeah,
forget pain, you will
yeah.
go through those miles, and I know it hurts, but do you want to keep it? Do you want to run, or you want to just give reason that, oh yeah, it's hurting, I should stop now? But
Hmm.
with my patients, I understand they have a mindset but I want to be there to help them out. Hey, I know it hurts, but you have to put the efforts, and I'll be here to help you out. So I feel like what I was practicing and what I'm preaching, I started practicing that, and that I feel like even if you're in pain, that will be temporary. The results and the strength that you're going to gain later on, that's going to be something that I'm looking for. So, and I want to make my patients independent, that if someday I'm not there with you, you want to be able to carry it on yourself. So I feel like that has changed my mindset. I understand when there's pain, but I want to make sure that I get through it, because pain is going to be temporary. Your strength is going to be permanent. So let's keep
Mm-hmm.
working on that.
Mm-hmm. I like that. Pain is temporary. Your strength is permanent. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Listen, Gaurav, I know that you are a part of a residency program at Jack Physical Therapy. Talk to us about the residency program, and what about the marathon journey you can share what you learned from the residency with your patients.
That's an awesome question. So I've been doing the residency for a couple months now, since April, and my patients know about it. My athletes know about it. It's an awesome journey. And when I signed up for the marathon, that was one of my motivation. Like, I'm working, I'm doing my residency. Marathon taught me that you should not give up,
Mm,
and that's a big mindset. Even if you have to walk, crawl, you have to get through the finish line.
yeah.
And that's my mindset now, even with my sports residency. Throughout the week, I feel like I'm getting so much information. I'm getting a lot of knowledge. So the thing that I want to share with my patients is, I know it is tough, but if we give up, you are giving up on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end, it definitely is worth everything that you're working on. So when I'm working with my athletes, I see that if if they're working on an exercise and they're not able to get through it, uh, if I have that mindset of not giving up, it kind of transfers to them too. And even this transfers to my patients. So this marathon has taught me that even if when I signed up for it, I did not imagine running 26.2 miles. But now, as I'm getting through it, it's like, okay, it's getting easier. It's okay. There are people cheering you on. You will have support. So when you're focused on the destination, the hurdles seem less important. So that's the message I want to give to my athletes and my patients, that I'll be there on the sidelines. I'll be there cheering you on. I don't want you to give up. And that's
Awesome.
what we want to carry forward.
Awesome. Gaurav, last question for you. People run the marathon and some say, you know what? One and done. I'm good. Thank you so much. Take my medal. Let me get out of here. I'm curious, sir. What's next for you, right? You've done this feat. You're now part of the 1% Club. What's next for you in terms of physical journeys or anything else related to the same mindset of the marathon? What's next?
I feel like since this was the first marathon, it's a great starting point. So I'm gonna keep going from here. I haven't decided if I want to do a marathon again, but I will be open to doing one. But I want to explore different sports. So I'm probably thinking of a triathlon, physique competition. I have 10 things going on right now, but I feel like this is a great starting point where I'm like, if I can run for this long, I think I can achieve different things in the different realms. So I'm keeping my mind open right now, but I'm still training. I want to make sure that I'm not giving up on anything. And yeah, I'm still in the exploring phase, and I love it so far.
So just so I'm clear, you will do a marathon again? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, absolutely.
Just wanted to hear. Just want to have documentation of that. Awesome. Thank you so much. Gaurav, listen, you've been a great member on the show. I appreciate you so much. Congratulations on being a part of the 1% Club, and looking forward to what you have next in store for you. Well done, sir. I salute you.
Thank you so much, Sean. I love it. Thank you for being here.
No problem. Folks, so many tips that Gaurav just shared with us, talking about the journey, being able to apply what he's learned to his patients. I mean, that's what it's all about, really, putting those things into work, practical goals, and applying those to real life things. Talking about it is one thing, right? But doing that thing is totally different. And once you've experienced something like that, you have a different perspective. You can talk to somebody about the pain that comes with this thing. And the fact that you want to do it again, Gaurav, is a big deal. It means that there's something special about being part of the marathon class. And we have another person who's also a part of that marathon class. She is someone who from the jump, folks, was like, yeah, I want to do this thing. And she was doing Spartan races in her mind and planning out her long-term goals for doing a number of other things. When the marathon opportunity came up, she was like, I'm all in. And she's been here since day one, rocking out with us. She is now a part of the 1% Club, and I'm happy to have her on the show. She actually was able to get into the marathon through the lottery. And for those who don't know, clubs like us have bids that we give out to certain people, so we allow to deem these opportunities on some of our runners. But some people have to apply it through a lottery, which are thousands of people who are trying to get into this thing. So to even get this lottery bid, to get this lottery win is a big deal. And once you get that thing, you have to show up because it doesn't happen all the time. And she answered the call and is now a part of the 1% Club. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, pets included, please welcome to the show my bestie and one of the members of the 2025 class for NYC, Adriana. Adriana, welcome to the show. What is going on? Happy to have you. Yeah, she's rocking the medal. What's going on? How are you?
I'm good. Hey, bestie.
Yes, Erica's jealous. Yes, she is.
Oh my
What's
God.
going on?
I'm good. This is amazing. Thank you for having me on the show. This
No
is another
problem.
bucket list thing, by the way.
I know, right? We talked about this. We did talk about this. Listen, you are now officially in the books, right? You're officially a part of the 1% Club. And I just wanted to know if you could sum up the experience, which I know was very, very all over the place. How will you sum up the NYC experience in one word?
In one word, I'd have to choose the word unity. Throughout this whole experience, I think coming in, the club, the unity in the club, first and foremost, that kind of like got me ready for the marathon. And then just being out on the streets of New York, like I've never experienced New York like this before. It was, everybody was one, everybody was out cheering, just supporting the athletes out there. I think coming like this experience was very synonymous to like Olympics in Jamaica when everybody was just in the streets watching, like, you know, they had the races on the screens in the streets and halfway through and everything, and everybody was just out watching. That's what this felt like, that type of camaraderie and unity. So it was amazing.
It's dope. And you know, I'm so happy you had a chance to experience NYC on foot. It is totally different running NYC and seeing the city on foot than any kind of train, any kind of bus. It's just different. And like you said, going through the different boroughs, the biggest party that you will ever be a part of, you are now a part of that biggest party. So I'm glad you had a chance to experience that. And I'm happy to have you here. And listen, this thing happened real quick, right? We were talking about marathon stuff, and then a lottery came and you were in. And
I know.
What was that feeling like when you got that email saying this is happening?
No, so I remember I was just casually going through my emails, right? And I saw the TCS email pop up, and I'm like, oh, what's this? So I went in, and it was like, you were chosen. And I'm like, wait, this doesn't make sense. Because first and foremost, this is a lottery. Like, I didn't expect to get in through the lottery. So I was like, I applied to this marathon once and got in on my first go. So I read it. I'm just like, maybe I'm excited, and I think that it says that I got in. So I screenshot the email and I sent it to Ish and I sent it to Erica. I'm just like, I think this means I'm in, but I'm not sure. Like, what's this?
Right.
What's this thing? And then Erica responded and she's like, girl, congrats, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I got in. And then Ish was like, the same, you got in. And then Ish was saying, oh, they'll follow up with an email with instructions and stuff. And I was like, there's no way. But it was super exciting. I almost, if I didn't say, like, I probably almost just closed the email and just carried on with my day. But no, it was amazing.
Yeah, no, it's kind of crazy. And then your bank account gets charged. You're like, oh, okay, I guess this actually is happening because money came out of my account. So yeah, we've all experienced it. And you know what's crazy? We applied for many marathons and there are lots of lotteries. And when the lottery date comes out, many of us are like, oh, I hope I get it. and then we don't get the notification, or we don't get the email saying that money came out of our account. So it's sad. But for you, you were elated, you were happy. And, I'm just so happy that literally what became a thought became reality so quickly for you. It was amazing.
Yeah, because I remember like even joining. I think when I joined, I was like at the half marathon stage. So I was doing a half marathon at the time.
Right.
And it was the hardest thing I've ever done. Like
Oh,
hardest run I've ever gone on. And after the race, my body was pained up and all that. I'm just like, this is after finishing that race, I was like, how do people even run a marathon? Like, that's ridiculous. But
right.
then being in the club and everybody was like, if you get in, you can. And I think what really sealed the deal for me was last year when I was at the cheer squad, Whole Foods with SSRC, and just was
Yes.
cheering everybody on and seeing people just pass and being a part of that community out there. It was amazing, and I was like, I want to do this. And I
Yeah.
remember I did a TikTok video, just like summing up my experience out there cheering. I had different clips of everybody going out, and then in the
Uh-huh.
caption, I in the caption I was like, "It was amazing cheering on. Hopefully next year I'll be on the other side."
Mm.
And then come to it, I'm on the other side this year, and it was just like such a full circle moment. I created a reel, a TikTok again of my experience this year, and I posted it, and I was like, "Yep, she did the marathon this year." So
Yeah.
that was super exciting.
Yeah, no, I saw your reel. I was happy to see it, and it's dope. And I'm thinking about literally your thoughts becoming reality, right? You thought about it and it happened. We have another person, Arthur Jamrock, aka Kingston Red. He actually does all of our jerseys, and any jersey you've ever worn, he's designed those things. And he's been our lottery king. Whatever he signs up for, he gets in. He was the first one to do the marathon with us. Just whatever he signs up for, it's like boom, you have it. And I'm putting you in that same kind of category because it doesn't always happen. But now that it has happened, what at all inspired you to even want to do or even sign up for this thing to be a part of this club? Because you were doing half marathons for the longest time, and I know you said seeing it was one thing, but what really said, you know what, let me now be a part of this because I'm seeing what I'm seeing, and I want to actually do that thing too. What inspired you to want to do that?
So the inspiration, I think, really was just a challenge. To me is like I did the half marathon. I know that I could do a half marathon, and then here's this full marathon. Like is this something I could accomplish? So I think it was really it was the next challenge for me, and of course the exposure through this community, being around all of you guys and seeing that you've done it, and then kind of like bringing myself into the question. I was like, all right, is this something that I could actually do? Because I think running multiple marathons per year, that's crazy to me. So I saw it as a huge challenge, and I thought maybe I could try. And even my mindset going into it was like, you know what, I may or may not be able to do this thing, but at the very least I'll try. I'll push myself. It's just setting the next goal, being more today, right? Yeah, just going for the next thing. So that really was my motivation. And then too, like, because I already started running. So running in and of itself, like that started for me consistently. Maybe it's been 2 years. We're in 2025. So 2 years now, like I started running consistently. But my running journey, that started as a way to kind of like move my body. I think a couple years back, like I had, like my hormones and everything were going off, and I went to the doctor, and she started talking about like, I have to pay attention to you know the pre-diabetes thing, right? And insulin resistance. And then I started doing my research into that, and it was like, at least moving your body for like at least 30 minutes a day, that helps with insulin resistance. And so that kind of motivated me. If I can't go to the gym, at the very least, I could do a walk. and that walk could turn into a run. And so that's where my journey with running kind of started. And then getting into races, it was just about, I needed something to make sure that I kept walking or I kept running. And so I signed up for my first 5K because I was like, yeah, I just need to motivate myself. And when I signed up for that 5K, I was like, girl, I don't know how this is going to go, but I'm going to try. Yeah. I remember when I started running, because it was so hard for me to like even run a mile, because I'm not a runner. Even today, my whole family is so shocked. They're like, "How you're not the athletic person? This is never, we never saw this for you." Because so started signing up for that 5K. It was scary. I was like, all right, but I'll do this. And I remember I started off with the Nike Run Club app, and I used the guided run. It was like the first run. And in that run, it was basically just saying like the starting point, just listen to your body. You don't have to do it you don't have to be the fastest out there. Just listen to your body. And if you need to slow down, slow down. The goal is not to kind of like speed through this. It's about covering the distance and making sure that you feel good, you feel strong doing that. And so I think that because running was always hard for me before that, but like listening to that, it kind of reframed how I approached running. And so that has stuck with me throughout, like from then till now. It's just like, yeah, it's about how I feel. Even now, I may need to change that, but even now, like when I run, I have the Aura ring, and how this tracks my run is it doesn't tell me my pace. I see all the stats afterwards. So like even when I'm running, I don't know what pace I'm going. Right. I'm just out there, just vibes. And that's really just me. It's kind of freeing for me because it's just like, all right, you just listen to your body. Like, how are you feeling on this run? That's what's important. So do I have it in me to go a bit faster? Then do that. Do I need to slow down on this run? Do that. So I think that has been really kind of like freeing and just helpful in just listening to my body and tuning in that way.
Yeah, I hear that. Listen, you and I have had many conversations about Spartan races. Yeah. I know I dropped the ball this year because you were like, yo, let's go do trifecta. Let's get this thing going. I was like, my calendar does not coincide with that right now. But we did do a Spartan race this year, and it was a muddy race. And I'm just curious, now that you've done both, you've done the NYC marathon and you've done a Spartan race, which one was more exciting for you? Which one was more challenging for you? What are your thoughts on those two different races?
Absolutely the marathon. Without a doubt, the marathon. The marathon was more exciting, I think, because again, the whole of New York showed up. All of New York showed up. It was a block party, as you guys mentioned, and it was absolutely more challenging. I remember getting to about mile 20 when you hit that wall, and I was going through it, and I was like, first of all, my whole body is in pain. My shoulders were hurt. Like I don't even understand why my shoulders were hurting. My shoulders, everything was in pain, and there was like no escaping this pain. Like I couldn't walk to get rid of the pain. If I started walking, then it would just hurt more.
Right.
So I didn't know what to do. I had this bottle in my hand. Like I'm always running with a bottle in my hand, and it's a dual purpose. In the beginning of the race, it's to hydrate. When I get to like close to the end of it's a stress ball. It's all my frustrations and anger is out on that bottle. I remember like when I crossed the finish line, the bottle got punctured somehow. I don't even know how, but I was squeezing the life out of that bottle. But mile 20 was it. It was the hard. Yeah, that's when I had the thought, yo, this is the hardest thing I've ever done. So yeah, absolutely the marathon.
Okay, cool. Just wanted to put it out there. Wanted to see what's going on, what your thoughts were. And, now that you've done this and you've seen our run club from many different angles, we started off doing Spartan races back in the day, and now we do road races too. What are your thoughts been about the run club since you've joined us and these crazy people?
Crazy indeed. No, the run club is absolutely amazing. Again, a part of the reason why I did this marathon was the exposure that I got through the run club. just being a part of this community one, being amongst all the crazy people doing these extraordinary things. So that was amazing. And I think too, just with so many persons at differing levels, stages, and backgrounds, I think it's been really helpful just listening and interacting with each of you. So it's kind of helping me to know, like, all right, this person has done this and this has been helpful, but also take into consideration their background. And so it's just, and everybody is supporting you. Every single person is supporting you. Preparing for this marathon, I remember like halfway through, of course, starting the prep with you, and then and going through this whole prep, getting ready for the marathon journey with you. And I remember halfway through that training, I kind of hit a wall. And I remember there was just like a period of 2 weeks where I was just getting up. I was getting adequate sleep because I was so tired. So I was, at this point, I was like sleeping for maybe 7 hours a night, 7 to 8 hours a night. But I was still getting up tired. I was like, what's going on? And that's when I came to the group. I was like, I don't know, something's happening. Like, I'm just super tired. And then we started that whole conversation around, the nutrition and, just paying attention to that. And then I started to zone into that. And then after those 2 weeks, things picked up. I felt better. So just having this community to kind of like pick your brains, get advice from, training tips, Ish always having the run routes. I know sometimes because I may, go to my bed a little later than I should on a Saturday night and can't make it for the 6 a.m.s. But Ish always, or, you always have a Strava route ready. Like, hey, this is the run for tomorrow. So if I miss the meetup with the team, like, it's my duty to make sure that I go and I run the route. And so I'm prepared. So, the group just having all these things in place has been super helpful. So yeah, it's been a great journey with the club, and I'd absolutely recommend. Best run club.
Love it. Listen, I want to bring on someone else who you ran the entire marathon with. It was great to see you running, but there was someone who was running next to you pretty much the entire race. And I want to bring him on right now because you guys have a bond, but I also have a bond with him. He's my boy, my fusion brother from back in the day at Brown University. Bruno, and actually a colleague of mine who I refer patients to, and he to me as well. His name is Dr. Clifford Boyd. So Dr. Boyd, welcome to the show. What's going on, sir? Long time coming. What's up?
I'm doing well. Thank you. Thank you for the invite.
Yes. Listen, I just wanted to bring you guys on together because you guys ran this thing pretty much the entire time. And I was just curious to hear from both of you together what the experience was like, being able to push each other and support each other for the entire marathon.
Well, honestly, it was pretty special. Running a marathon with someone turns the whole thing into this shared adventure. The highs feel higher, the lows felt a little lighter. Adriana and I fell into this rhythm where we kept each other steady. We didn't need to talk the whole time. There was an unspoken and a spoken pact. We said we're getting this through together. It made the entire race feel less like 26.2 miles and more like one long conversation without words. At each mile, we gave each other a pound and we said, one more mile. Every mile, one more mile. No matter how hard it was, in the middle, at the end, it's one more mile. And she put me in a place that I never thought I'd be in terms of relying on somebody else wholeheartedly throughout a race. And we relied on each other, and I thought it was very special.
Yeah.
Amazing. Adriana?
No, absolutely. Because even when we were starting the race, Cliff was like, we're crossing the finish line together. In my head, I was like, sure we are. Because I know, like, I go based on how I feel. And so I know, I think in my head, like, Cliff was is a bit faster, So I was like, all right. But I also told him, like, feel free if you need to go, go. Right. So when he said that at the beginning, like, yeah, we're crossing the line together, I was like, okay, we'll see if that's really the case. But no, Cliff stuck to his word, and we crossed every mile together. We crossed the finish line together, and it was absolutely special. Like especially in the end when I got to that 20-mile mark, that wall, and Cliff was there. Like he saw that I was kind of checking out, and he was like, "You remember, like you trained for this, you have this. Like we're almost there. Like it's okay. You know, we could slow down if you need to, walk if you need to, but we're almost there. You got this." And so that was super helpful at the time. It's just like, all right, just focus, one step in front of the other. So it was amazing. And then like when we got to the last 2 miles, Cliff was like, at that point, I remember him saying, yeah, like when we get there, like we're just gonna empty the tank. And he really like pulled me, because I'm like, I usually get to that point. I'm like, all right, you know, give it your all. But like with Cliff, it was like, yes, like we mean business. Like let's get over this finish line. So it was amazing just going through that whole run together. And honestly, it changed the experience, and it just made it better, to be honest.
And well, she forgets to mention, it wasn't just me. She helped me. You know, I live in Long Island City, so I've run over the bridge many times to prepare for the bridge. What I didn't prepare for was running 15 miles and then the bridge.
Right.
Forgot about that. So once I got to the bridge, you know, I was feeling pretty good. And at one point, cramp. And not just one cramp, it was my quad and my hamstring together. And Adriana slowed down, stopped, helped me. I stretched out. I mean, I couldn't believe that I was going through this moment. I thought this could be the end. And she wasn't there. I don't know if I could have really pushed through. So, you know, it wasn't just me helping her. She was definitely helping me. And I feel like that's the whole experience with this community that we have that I didn't even really realize until that moment.
You guys are definitely embodying, we even practiced this, but talking about no Spartan left behind. I mean, that's been our motto since day one. And to have 2 new marathon runners do that without any cues or coaching or whatever else, I mean, that's incredible. It just really speaks to what we have as a community here. And, you know, you guys were pretty much the embodiment of that during this race. And, you know, I want to throw a question at you right now, which is not scripted, because I'm realizing that Adriana, you're from Jamaica. You know, Cliff, you have family from Haiti. And, you know, we had this Hurricane Melissa that happened pretty much you know, around the same time as this marathon. So I didn't know if, you know, thinking about family and friends or just heritage at home, how that affected you, how that made you feel running the marathon, or anything that you took from the marathon experience, looking at what's been happening, you know, in other places around the world, talking about people going through hardships and going through challenges, and the marathon also being a place where you're going through challenges, you're going through hardships, and those things are similar but clearly different, right? But any thoughts that you want to share about the marathon experience, what you've seen, what you've experienced through that, and those who may be struggling right now, you know, family, friends, etc., in Jamaica and in Haiti? What are your thoughts on the similarities, if any, between those two for you guys?
I think what I will say is just resilience. I mean, it's easy to say this now, but we can, as a people, we can do hard things, right? And what Jamaica is experiencing now, what Haiti, the Caribbean countries affected by Melissa is experiencing now, is a hard thing. We can do hard things, and we are a set of resilient people. And that's evident. You see that through a marathon, right? Going 26.2 miles. I think the first person who ever ran that at the end of the race, you know, at the end of running 26.2 miles, that person died, right? And now, like, so many millions of persons are running 26.2 miles. It shows the evolution, the adaptation of our bodies, and we can do hard things. Like, it's ridiculous. A lot of persons have lost everything, but I believe that, you know, just over time and just staying positive, and of course with the help from whoever can help, I think we can overcome it.
Yeah, I think she hit it on the dot. Support, you know, we supported each other. And one thing that I was so amazed was Jamaica showed up because she had her Jamaican flag, and I didn't know how many Jamaicans were there until they all saw her flag and were supporting her, and it motivated me. And I saw somebody with a Haitian flag, and that gave me some hope and motivation. But I think this whole experience shows that it's important to support people, not just your community or culture, but the human race, right? We're all humans. We all bleed. We all have emotions and physical challenges, and the way that you support each other really makes the difference in how we survive and thrive. Yeah. So the way that we support each other, sticking through this and making this a meaningful experience for us, is important for others to keep in mind. That whether you're from America, Europe, Jamaica, Haiti going through, especially Jamaica going through the worst, we got to support each other, and we have to continue to support each other.
Yeah. Well said. Well said.
And that's Hurricane Melissa was actually the reason why I wore the flag, because I remember going through and planning my outfit. I was like, yeah, I'm wearing this, and then I think it was the week before the marathon was when the hurricane hit, and there were a couple mornings I got up and I was just seeing the feed, the news, seeing clips, and it was just so heart-wrenching. It just made me cry watching the videos. And so even going into the marathon, it was such mixed feelings, because yes, I was showing I'm here in New York and I'm excited about this marathon. It's my first time doing it, but I'm also heartbroken to know that my community, my people are going through this hardship. So on marathon, I was like, yeah, it's amazing, it's exciting that I'm doing this, but I also have to show up for Jamaica. And so that's why I pulled out and I wore the bandana there, and it was amazing out there. I saw this lady, I think she's from Trinidad. She was also wearing her Trinidadian flag. I think her name was Judy, and she was probably running with Achilles, and she saw the flag. Everybody else that they saw the flag and they're like, yeah, Jamaica, go, whatever. But when I saw Judy got the whole reason why I even wore that flag. She saw it and she was like, my heart and my prayers are with your people. And that's why I wore the flag. I wore it to represent, to stand with them. And I think that really touched me, because she ended up running with us for a couple minutes, and she was just sharing and saying, how the whole world is really just out there and rooting for Jamaica on their side. And that meant a lot, just for her to underscore the whole reason of me just showing up with that flag.
Yeah. Look, thanks for sharing. I know that wasn't part of the original conversation I wanted to share with you guys, but I felt inspired to bring that up, just looking at you two and knowing your histories and your heritage. So thank you for sharing that. And Adriana, last question for you before I chop it up with Dr. Voigt. Would you ever do this thing again? You've now been through this one time. Is it a one and done? I need documentation from everyone. Is it a one and done situation, or what's next for you on the docket?
So I wouldn't say it's a one and done. I did apply for the Berlin lottery.
Oh, here we go. All right. So,
I did apply for the Berlin lottery.
All right.
But that's the only one. I was thinking about, that's the only one I'm applying for. And I won't be mad if I don't get in. I won't be mad. So.
All right. Well, knowing your luck, you will get in. So congratulations on that in advance. And I guess we'll see you in Berlin next year. All right. Cool. Anyway, Adriana, thank you so much for being on the show. I appreciate you so much.
Thank you.
Dr. Voigt, it's me and you now. And for those who don't know, Dr. Voigt, Clifford Voigt, you and I went to school together, Brown University. Bruno, we're fusion brothers for life. Our daughters are hanging out right now at your house. They're hanging out. I don't know where they are, but they're hanging out right now. You're my brother, and I appreciate you. And it was so dope seeing you finish the NYC marathon. You and I talked about it. I know you saw me running marathons all last year and wherever else. And you were like, oh, we're putting a lot of miles in. But literally, when you got the call and you were like, yeah, let's do this, I don't even know what happened. The transformation from I'm not a runner to I'm a runner was very, very quick. And you sent me your training programs. You were updating what you were doing. You were just sending me, you were the one sending me pictures of you, 5 o'clock in the morning on the bridge at night, doing this, doing that. And I was like, yo, this guy is, and I wasn't surprised because you're self-motivated and you've accomplished so much in life, but just your dedication to the training of this blew me away, because on top of family, on top of being an orthopedic surgeon, on top of life, you found a way to train for this thing, and you made it look effortless. Like, I don't know how you felt, and I know we're talking about that right now, but all the pictures I saw, all the videos we saw of you, were like you were just enjoying NYC at your fullest. So, sir, if you could sum up the NYC Marathon in one word, what would that one word be?
It'd be transformative, physically, mentally, emotionally. It genuinely changed the way, you see yourself. And I couldn't have done it without you. You mentioned how you saw me transform over time, but I've been watching you do your marathons, and my mind, in my mindset, I could never do that. But again, what actually made me believe myself is that I could only get through medical school because of you. When I got to Brown, I was a freshman, and Sean was the man, at Brown, and was a couple years ahead of me. And I just wanted to be like him. I never had a big brother, and so he became my big brother. And he held me accountable in chemistry classes. There was so many mornings I didn't want to show up, and him and and one of his friends, Aaron, would really put me in my place and make sure that I was there, and they'd sit up front. So when I sit next to them, I had to be there early, so otherwise it wouldn't look good. But that transformation from college to medical school was having you as my big brother, a big part of my journey. And it's kind of crazy to think about that and see it full circle, where I saw you running these marathons even after your schooling and your doctorate, and still doing it. And I said, well, there's no way I could ever do this. And then I was like, well, maybe I could run a race or two. And then one morning you're like, okay, so you signed up for New York Roadrunners. You want to do a half marathon? Like, what? So my first race, he asked me to do a half marathon. I'm like, you know what? I trust Sean. Maybe I can do it. And I was on call the night before, which means I got no sleep. And I got through it, but it was the most painful experience of my life. And when I finished, I said, a marathon? You want me to do this twice? Absolutely not. Never doing this. And this was last year, or a year and a half ago. And then I realized that part of the issue that I had was that, well, Sean was also training. He was doing all these, strength classes, and, his nutrition was different. He always told me he doesn't drink any alcohol before his marathon races. That was a non-starter for me. I was like, what? No alcohol? You gotta be kidding me. So I couldn't believe that, at some point my mindset changed, because I kept seeing him showing up and doing all these different things. He wrote a book. He's my, physical therapist, right? Then he became my clinician. And so I realized, well, if he is believed in me all these years and thinks that I can do this, why shouldn't I believe in myself? And so then that one time I did the half marathon the year after. I committed to all the races, and I committed to changing my nutrition, because I saw that made a difference. I committed to taking care of myself, doing breathing work, stretching. He gave me all this dynamic strengthening and stretching exercises. And then when he called me to tell me that I've been accepted to the marathon, I was like, wow, okay, I guess I got to do it. I believe in him. And I realized that once I committed to doing this, I was going to put all my all into it. And I did. And it made me all the better. And to be honest with you, the Clifford Voigt before the marathon is a different person right now. I've never experienced such a transformation in my entire life. I live every day now with more purpose. And that's because of the marathon. That's because of my friendship with Sean and coaching with Ish. Somebody we haven't really mentioned Ish enough. He's one of the other coaches, and one of the biggest parts of this marathon experience was that last 10 miles. A friend of mine told me that the last few miles were the worst, but that last 10, once you cross over that bridge, can be very, very painful. And Ish actually came, I think, a week before, and he's busy, he's got kids, and he went and trained with me at this last 10 miles of the race event. So he came on his off day, actually, sorry, not his off day, a day where he has to take care of his children, but he still came, showed up early in the morning and ran it with me so that I can be prepared. I mean, you can't ask for better coaches. You can't ask for better support. So I'm very grateful for Sean and Ish and the whole group, the Spartan Sundays group, to all the support.
Yeah, big out to Ish. You know, a lot of those long runs, he was out there because I was busy doing who knows what on many of those days. And he was the one out there at 5 o'clock in the morning, ushering Adriana and you, and even sometimes Gore up on all those runs. And, you know, we come together as a team. And it's great to see that you were able to grow as a part of that. And, you know, we appreciate you being a part of our team. And now that you are, you know, my patient and I'm your patient as well, whenever I have knee issues, and I had so many issues last year with my foot. I got a blister during a race. I came straight to you. I was, yo, Cliff, help me. you just like took care of that with no problem. So we go back and forth, and, you know, from referring patients to you and vice versa. It's been a great experience connecting with you and being able to be a part of this run club with you, you know, outside of the regular 9 to 5 has been awesome. Now you, sir, are now part of the 1% Club, and you can call yourself an official runner. But this marathon experience, like you said, has changed you. It's been transformative. What about the experience can you apply, or have you applied now, to what you do, the medical field, your patients? I mean, you see a number of athletes, you see a number of patients, right? You've seen, and you do surgeries for them. So you're helping people to get back to their functional status. But now you've been through the experience, and you can share many things that you've learned with those patients. What are some of the things you've been able to share now with some of your patients, or just your scope now in terms of your practice of medicine?
Wow. Well, so much. You know, a marathon teaches you patience, pacing, resilience, and that's basically medicine 101. You learn how to manage discomfort instead of panic. You learn how powerful small, consistent habits are. You learn how important community is. You know, I found myself counseling patients very differently than I did prior to this experience. I talk less about perfection and more about progress. You know, I talk about trusting the process. And when I say you'll get there, I mean it from actually lived experience, not just medical training. And I think patients really do connect with that a lot more. They see that even before my marathon experience, all the preparation I was doing, I was giving them, you know, my lived experience and saying, hey, my knee hurts, and this is what I'm doing, and I'm going through the therapy. I mean, I had a ski accident this past year in March. And oh, God,
What about that?
I haven't thought about this. And to be honest with you, so I had an MCL tear, a grade 2 MCL tear, and then I had a shoulder separation on opposite sides. And the only thing I could think of was, I have this half marathon that I didn't do well in the last year before, and I've got to do better, and I've got to figure out a way to get better and get you know, ready for this marathon. So that was 2 months prior. And first thing I said was, Sean, let's work. Help me figure it out. Can I do this? And honestly, you know, I had to put my trust in his hands. And, you know, traveling, you know, I live in Long Island City, traveling to Brooklyn to where he is was out of the way. But he's the person that I trust. He's my person. So I went there, and a lot of the training and the rehab was not this overt strengthening. It was just calm, and, you know, just getting some range of motion, doing some massage, toning, things that even that I know are the right things to do. I'm like, this is not going to help me in time. Are you serious? We got to speed this up. And he said, trust me. And I put myself in his hands. And 2 months later, I ran, finished the half marathon, and I said, maybe I can run another one of these. Like, maybe I can do 2 half marathons, hence the marathon. So, you know, that in itself, my patients were very receptive to my progress and to my commitment. And so it wasn't just, okay, do this, do that. Because a lot of us surgeons have no idea, you know, unless you're actually the one that goes through the injury, that does the actual sport itself, or has an idea of what it takes to be committed, it's hard to really counsel those patients without that lived experience. So that was very helpful.
I completely forgot about all of that. I'm not gonna lie to you. So I remember you coming to the clinic. I remember us doing exercises. It's just funny. I just forgot that you were in that situation from the ski accident. But yeah, we got through it. We trained for it. You trusted me. I appreciated you, and we got it done. And it just again shows the resilience of the human body. But also, I think just me interpreting in your perspective, since you know the body so well, being able to really trust that it can do what it can do, not just in terms of your recovery, but also in terms of what you needed on marathon day. It's just cool to see it. It's just cool to see it. And like you said, I think it's something that we can tell our patients, we can tell our coworkers, you being able to experience what that actually is going through a marathon, and then telling that to your patients about trusting the process. Because now, people always say, oh, well, how do you know how I feel? You don't know my pain. I'm like, no, actually, I do know your pain because I've been through this multiple times from the injury perspective and then from the performance perspective. So I think it's great. More tools in the tool shed just to bust out and to share with others that they too can be persistent and trust the process. I think it's awesome. And Cliff, I'm looking at both of us. We're both dads, both girl dads, right? And and one of the reasons why I run the marathon is just to show my daughter that she can do anything. So I was curious for you with Emerson and even your wife. What are some of the thoughts you had? When they saw you at the end of the race, what are some of the thoughts that you wanted to share with them, being able to go through this process and conquer this 26.2 mile feat?
I think that's a great question, because it was something that I didn't really even contemplate prior to the marathon, but going through it and then being able to see my wife and daughter there on the sidelines cheering me on with all my friends. And not only did my wife and daughter cheer me on, they brought my entire Brown community, friends from all over, to make sure that everyone was supporting me. I think it's something that I've learned from this experience, is to make sure that I do have that a little bit more planned out, because it was great how organic it occurred, but having at mile 6 somebody that I hadn't seen in 10 years show up and support me. I mean, there's moments where you feel down, you feel a little tired, and that support from all parts of my life was crucial. And I actually, at one point, I'm telling Adriana, all right, I'm going to save my energy, and Long Island City's coming, and my daughter and wife are going to be there. And you cannot believe this. I don't know if I told you this, Sean, but my daughter's friends were in Long Island City, and everyone's supporting me, and they're giving me hugs. And the first thing I can think of is, where's my wife and daughter? And there's a video showing me hug my daughter's friend's dad and wives, and my wife and Emerson are looking one direction. I'm looking the other direction, looking for them, and we miss each other. And I'm running. I'm like, how could she miss me? This doesn't make sense. I've seen everybody in my entire life now, except my wife and daughter. And then, but I had to keep going. You realize too, you can't let things that you expect and don't occur keep you from your task, right? Keep you from your goal. So my goal was to finish this marathon, and I know that they've been there supporting me throughout the whole marathon, throughout the whole journey, and so I had to continue finishing. But then they found their way towards mile 22, 23, and I mean, it was such a great feeling to hug my daughter and hug my wife and see that support. And then afterwards, to go to the marathon Monday, go around with my daughter to see all the different sort of support that you have for the runners. And now that moment afterwards made me want to run with my daughter and have a moment where I can actually run this marathon with her and complete it with her. That's my next goal, long-term goal. And what inspired me is having your daughter doing all these races. And so it's inspired my daughter to want to do races now too, which I still remember the first day I got into running. I kind of used my daughter as a way. I used Emerson as a way to keep me accountable, and every time she would run with me, she's like, "Oh, I'm tired." I'm like, "Okay, yeah, I'll walk with you." That kind of gave me an out. And then some mornings I said, "Are you ready to run?" She's like, "No, you're on your own this time." But now she wants to do it. So I think it's great because our friendship has sort of permeated to our children. And this weekend, my daughter and Sean's daughter Sonali have been having a great time and having a sleepover, and it's been it's crazy to see that growth with them. So it's been a great experience, and my wife has been just phenomenal in terms of support. It's not easy to take my daughter, because she's also a physician, take her to work with her when I have these races, and the moments where I'm hurt or frustrated or hangry, and she really brought it to another level, and I couldn't have done it without her, for sure.
Amazing. Well, Cliff, it's been 20 years, sir. Actually, more than 20 years. You were class of 05 or 2025. Yeah. So over 20 years that I've known you, but it's just been amazing to see our journey together. And I'm curious for you, sir, what is next on the docket? You've now become part of the 1% Club. You've knocked this off of your checklist, your bucket list. What's next for you in terms of fitness stuff, or even in terms of health and wellness stuff? What's next on the journey?
So, right now, recovering like a responsible adult, or at least trying to. We just had a conversation the other day. And I was like, I'm feeling good. I really want to run more. You're like, slow it down, my friend. Slow it down. Keep it easy, And I'm like, all right, there you go, big bro. You got me. I figured that. But honestly, this has opened the door. I want to keep building on the momentum. Definitely another marathon. I've completed 9 races, and I need a +1, which is my volunteer portion, and I just got accepted for that. So I may do the New York Marathon again, which is insane, but I feel good about it, and I may want to chase a better time. But more importantly, I want to stay consistent. Running's become a part of my identity now. Something I want to grow with, not just check off. So it's giving me a lot of depth into understanding how my nutrition has helped me. I've gotten this Whoop, which is helping me with. I think one of my biggest struggles is appropriate sleep. I've done a much better job with nutrition. I've lost about 30 pounds, even prior to the race. I was running with a little child on my back, for 2 years, and I realized, get rid of that weight makes a big difference. But again, the consistency has been very, very helpful and important for not just the running, but for my life. For plans to have a practice hopefully in the future. All these things sort of have been a transformative experience to allow me to believe in myself, that I can do more, that I can realize the goals of how I want to take care of the patients, the way that you take care of me and the way that we take care of each other. I want that more for my patients, and to give that to everybody, whether you're a CEO or you're homeless. I think everybody deserves the proper care and deserves it at the highest level. So I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep this momentum and keep being inspired by you.
Awesome. I'm inspired by you too, sir. Just know that the feeling is mutual, and I appreciate you. Congrats on being a part of the 1% Club, and congrats again on finishing your first marathon. And I look forward to seeing you soon. Oh, he got the whole set. Folks, not playing around. Well,
it's real.
That's great. I appreciate you, sir.
Thank you too, man.
For life. I'll see you next time. Folks, I am full. I am very, very full from these 3. And we had others who were not on the show today. We'll talk about them at some point in time. Anthony Melendez, who ran and guided a runner. And we had Raul, who also ran this year. We'll have them at some point in time so you can see their journeys. But at this time, I have to bring on my partner, our captain, the man always behind the scenes who hates to be on camera. I'm going to bring him on camera right now. I'm going to have him bring him on camera right now. Ishmael Huepa Torres. Cap, we did it again, man. We did it again, another year.
Yeah, this is awesome. Another class.
It's crazy. How do you feel about this graduating class? And if you had to talk about the success you've had for the last 14 years, what are your thoughts on all those things?
it's very weird to see 14 years go through like this, right? Going from just dirt races, which is where the name came from, to on the concrete, where we just added the run club to the existing name, becoming an official club with Roadrunners in 2017 after your accomplishment and everyone else's right behind you. I say we, because we hit it from different angles, right? But at the end of the day, it works together, and that's what matters. And now we're almost going to be 10 years into the running side. So 14 years of this, and next year is the big 1-5. So we've come so far, affected so many people, and that's really what it's about. No Spartan left behind from the beginning, and that's an organic theme. All of the themes that we've had over the years have kind of played out. You versus you. You hear Adriana and Cliff kind of talk about how they were fighting their bodies to finish these things. But it's just more of just, paying it forward from my end. I'm doing all these runs and you're doing all these runs, and it's great to see our accomplishments, but it's also great to see people seeing our accomplishments and then us helping them get their accomplishments as well. Yeah. So all of that put together has been awesome.
Amazing. This year's theme was Thrive. And I think everyone showed that in various ways, from the Spartan races to the NYC marathon crew, to those who ran other marathons. Marquise ran a marathon this year with us, and Joe ran a marathon, and so many people. Laura ran a marathon in Berlin. Everyone thrived in various ways this year, including our Tokyo crew, which was me and you and others, and the NYC crew. And, I think every year has been exceptional with these themes that you're talking about. And I wanted just to talk a little bit about the cheer section. And I know some people don't find value in going out there and cheering for someone for 10 seconds, but we have a cheer section that we do every year. Can you just expound on what the cheer section is for us for NYC, so those who don't know can know?
Yeah, so part of the NYC experience is having your own place to cheer on not only your runners, but everyone else. And what we did is we started organically with just like a little area that we would meet up. And I want to thank the Vintage crew. This started with Spartan Claudette. One day we were running, I think it was New York City half, and we looked at Whole Foods, and out of the side, it's Spartan Claudette, Spartan Pat. It was Claudette, Pat, the Trini crew, pretty much. And we were like, oh, they're standing right here. And then one day we just said, that's the spot. And part of being an official Roadrunners Club, and we thank them for allowing us to be that, was you get a spot and you claim that spot. And it's grown from just a bunch of people to now it's kind of like a pit stop for people. It's almost like a parking lane where people swerve off, kind of get themselves back together and keeping it going. And this year was a party. Give a shout out to the Brooklyn North Drum Corps for showing up. Give a shout out for JAG PT for their yearly setup, and we just happy for them to show up. And this year, we were able to offer hydration to everyone in the form of smart water and vitamin water to all of the public that was all along the side on Flatbush Avenue before they turned up Lafayette. So just the vibe, the music, just being able to do that, seeing run influencers come and hang out with us, like, we ain't made it, but it's cool to kind of have that spot to be able to do that.
Yeah, I agree with you. And, it's amazing to see so many of our runners come out and cheer for people that we don't know and do know. And as you know, we set up shop there, and then when the runners pass us from there, we go right into the city and cheer them all the way out to the end. And people always ask, you guys aren't done? No. We have to see them finish. And the Spartan, no Spartan Left Behind theme is a real one. I think that we have embodied, which just speaks more to our club. And we've highlighted many clubs this year on the Be More Today show. But I love talking about our club because it is family. And like you said, the cheer section has grown from its inception all the way to now. So shout out to those who have been a part of it, including Spartan Lunice, who's been with us, holding it down for us in terms of our community, contacts with other people, not just our cheer section, and Spartan Airline, who actually helped to coach some of the runners behind the scenes during these times as well. She was very, very integral, especially with our morning club and our speed clubs during the week. So it takes a team, it takes a family. And,
Definitely.
Question for you, Ish, as you and I continue to work together for so many years, we started this thing, as many may not know, in a basement at a local church.
Mhm.
And what became a P90X conversation turned into workouts, which turned into this run club over time, given COVID and everything else. And it's been a great journey. But I'm curious for you, sir, what motivates you still to do this? I know what motivates me to do this, but I'm just curious for you, since I never really have you on because you're always behind the scenes. I know people always say, oh, you should go out there doing this for that person, this for that person. What motivates you to make sure that you're still doing this to help others and to help yourself?
Yeah, no, I think it's the sense of accomplishment. For people who know me at my church, I usher, which is like the ultimate, for me, I guess, service oriented thing. Um, People come to you with, no matter how they're feeling, they could have had a bad morning, they could have had an argument at home or whatever, but then come to their place of service and they see a smile on their face and they go, I don't want to say disarm them, but it's like we kind of bring them down to a level that, hey, you're here to kind of enjoy yourself and have your worshiping moment, right? And I've always seen that, like, I see Spartan that way. It's a way to pay it forward, to see each and every person here, kind of grow into that biggest accomplishment that they think they can get to. There's always one more, right, that they can do, but they just don't realize it yet. And sometimes you just need the community, like Cliff said earlier, to kind of get you out there. I remember when we did Brooklyn Half together that first time. I'm trying to keep it PC, but like nervous, like, what am I doing, this and that. And I said, look, just run behind me, we'll pace. And when it's time, you just jump back in and let your wings go, right? And I kind of feel like that's what we're doing, you and I. We're doing our work. I mean, you're up at 5:45. I'm here doing all the technology, what you see that you don't see. You just think it works, right? Oh yeah, I'm able to talk to everyone. You don't see that, but it took time to kind of get that together, the weekly emails, so that everybody's informed. All those things kind of come together. And just to kind of see us go from like a band of, I want to say band of misfits, but like a band of like 10 people watching, putting in a VHS tape or a DVD, and just doing what the screen said, to COVID, in which we use this platform to kind of help our Spartans kind of continue their process. If you go on our YouTube, you'll see all of the old workouts that we used to do. Same as if you're at the 5 a.m., same as if you were in the Sunday when we were meeting together, but they're still there. And I look at it as people finding opportunities for everyone within this space that they can move forward.
Absolutely. And it's been a blessing and it's been amazing. And last question is, what's in store for 2026? What can people expect for year 15 for Spartan Sunday Run Club and Spartan Sundays?
So I would like year 15 to be the turn up year. That's kind of, we turning up. But, I'm trying to figure out how. You and I have been in discussions on like what dream things we can do, anywhere from, going on a Spartan cruise, or like everybody's like, calm down, we can't do all that. But we went to Puerto Rico to Lola. So it's like, we can do it. but we have to consider everyone and make sure that we find something that everyone can do. There's definitely a party happening. We have to celebrate getting to 15. We're teenagers, right? Spartans are teenagers. What do things do? We sneak out and party, you know? So we join parties and we get in trouble. This is our moment to do that. But, you know, just taking it to the next realm, you know, you're starting the year off right with your, with Boston, completing the circle of all of this, right? Which was, remember when we started running, it was kind of like, what is that elusive thing that can happen? And everybody's like, 6-star medal, 6-star medal. So we just said, hey, we're doing that.
Yeah.
You know, and just like you were the first one, you know, you'll be the first one for that one. If everything goes the way it's going, I'm on a few waiting lists, but you never know. It could be both of us, you know.
I would love it.
Yeah. You know, and then hopefully we go from there. We usher more Spartans into the elusive 6-star medal. And, you know, when we do it, everybody's like, oh, you know, it doesn't, we have 5, maybe we could do that 6. And then same way the itch happens to us, it happens to them. So, you know, we're going to have a party. We're going to figure out a turn up. We're going to figure out maybe a way that we can all do something together, maybe not in New York or something. I know I'm kind of like putting stuff out there. And, you know, let's see. Spartan, you know, Spartan now guides runners of all types. You know, Anthony, who's not on this show, has evolved from running his own marathons to also guiding runners. That's kind of a new facet in Spartan that we never really thought of at all. That has happened. And it just shows you how the group has grown in various ways.
Yep, absolutely. Well, I'm excited for all of it. Let's bring back all our runners ish if we can. Just for one last question. It's been such a pleasure seeing so many of you on the show and being able to vibe with each of you. Again, congratulations on being a part of the 2025 class for NYC. And again, you're joining an elusive club of people who have been crazy enough to go out there and finish a marathon. I just want to take one more minute and just give you guys one more minute just to share your final thoughts for those who haven't done the marathon yet, right? We always like doing this because there's someone watching out there who is in your former shoes, right? They're watching this and like, yo, this sounds crazy. They're better than I am. I can't do this. But each of you were in that same boat, especially as new marathoners. And now you're like, yo, I did this, so you can too. So in 60 seconds, can you share with the listeners what you want to share with them to let them know that they too can do the NYC Marathon? We'll start with Gaurav, then we'll go to Adriana, and then we'll end with Cliff and Ishmael.
All right. So my first inspiration is to make sure that I prepare my wife for the marathon. That's what we've been talking about. It's more like if I can do it, you can do it too. We have all the resources. We have the Run Club. We have everyone on this podcast who I love their stories. So it's really inspiring, and I feel if there is a way to get your passion out there, running a marathon is definitely one of them, because it is, as everyone said, it's transformative. There's unity, and I see in everyone, and I want to pass it on to my coworkers and everyone I know in the family, so that they don't have to think that, oh yeah, running 26 miles is too much. It is too much, but it is doable. If we believe in it, it's achievable. So I'm definitely rooting for that for everyone.
Yeah. I would definitely say do it. Like, if you have the opportunity, go ahead, go do it. It seems like a lot, as Gaurav said, but it's one training run after the other. It doesn't start at 20 miles. It starts with a 5K. Then you run that 2 times, and then you move to running 5 miles. Then you build your way up. So do it. Like, just take it one run at a time, one workout at a time. We all can. That's what I would say.
I know this sounds cliche, but you know how people say it's not a sprint, it's a marathon? I never understood that until running a marathon. You know, it's 1 mile after 1 mile, one more mile. You really have to pace yourself. You have to think about, you know, enjoying the experience, not just thinking about the 26.2 miles. That's too much, you know, for your brain to really comprehend. And if I had to keep thinking that way, I'd never accomplish it. So it's the little portions, it's the consistency of the training, it's belief in yourself and the people around you supporting you. Because it takes a village. I mean, all these things are very cliche, but I'm understanding the cliches a lot more after this marathon. And join a run club. I think that's one thing that I'm starting to actually give advice to other people who are inspired and said, "Oh, I want to do it, but I don't think I can. I can't even run 3 miles. Well, I could barely run half a mile the first time I started running. But you know, having Sean and Ish and a lot of other people who supported me, and then even during the race, having Gaurav and Adriana there, it takes a village, it takes a community, and you know, there's no Spartan left behind. So I think it's a great experience, and it'll change your life.
I mean, go to the cliche, marathon is life, right? But it's not we're running marathons, that's our life. But it's the similarities of life to a marathon, right? It's, you know, you start early, you're the little chunk of accomplishments, little chunks equals the big chunk, right? You know, the marathon is what, 8 5Ks, right? If you break it down. And if you can hit 1 5K at a time, it's easy to do that, right? So, you know, just check in with yourself also. But I will also say it's the family aspect of a run club. And when we created Spartan Sundays, we didn't think of family. We just thought about a meeting place, right? But over the years, being 15 years, it's turned into a family. We do everything together, right? And I think like Adriana and Cliff did, you know, sometimes you just need that partner to get you to the finish line. And in this case, we have 100 partners helping us getting to the finish line. And that's where no Spartan left behind comes. So it's you can definitely do this. Every person has enough to get it done. There is an internal aspect of getting it done. You have to actually talk to yourself. When people come to me, I say, did you talk to your wife, your husband, boyfriend, girlfriend? Because there will be times of, hey, can't do this. And people will not understand that after a while. But when they see the dedication in you, that you're really trying to make it happen, they will understand. And then they'll say to themselves, well, Cliff is like awesome dedicated. Adriana's awesome dedicated. Gaurav is awesome dedicated. Maybe I need some of that dedication juice in my cup. And that's when the conversations come to say, well, this is what I did. This is what you got to do. And now you guys are the ones to now tell someone what you accomplished here to accomplish forward. Because now they're going to come to you for advice. So be ready for that.
Yep, that's exactly how it goes. Exactly how it goes. Folks, I want to thank you all for making the time this morning to be on the show, and also watching as well. Hope you were inspired by the stories you heard, by the run club that we have. And again, the quote for today is simple. Run when you can, walk if you have to, crawl if you must, just never give up, by Dean Cranais. Just know that walking, running, crawling, not giving up, those are all the things you need to do in the marathon, but also in real life. And I hope you were inspired by the stories you heard today. Hope you were inspired by what you continue to see from Spartan Sunday Run Club all year. And I want to inspire each of you to go out there and be more today and to thrive, even though there are 2 months left, a month and 2 weeks, right? Thrive this year in something, whether it's a marathon you're trying to train for this year or for even for next year, or your personal life, professional lives, whatever it's going to be. use the marathon components, use the marathon training, the marathon mindset to get through whatever you want to get through this year or into next year, to not give up. We can all be great. The 1% Club you see here is great, but real life is even greater. And being successful in that regard, whether it's for your family or for those who are in Haiti and Jamaica or around the world, wherever it's going to be, show the best man that you can for others and continue to be more today as we enter into 2026 very, very soon. Thank you guys so much for being on the show today. We appreciate every last one of you. And until next year, we will see you very, very soon. Peace.